Hi, my name's Will John from ADAS and we're here today at Square Farm to talk about the EIP project on organic asparagus. Asparagus is a crop with great potential in Wales. It's got good value and it comes in the hungry gap, which is the period from late April through to late June when few other crops are available. I'm pleased to be here today with Rob Riddle from Square Farm. Rob, we're really grateful that you agreed to take part in this project. Could you tell us a bit about the farm first and then what interested you in growing asparagus here?
Well, it's 190 acres of mixed farming we do. We sell as much as possible through our own farm shop, which we started sort of 9 years ago. And I was interested in just learning new skills. It was something I'd never done. The crop has worked out very well selling through the shop to our own customers with low food miles and organic and local, and people really appreciate the crop at the time of year when it comes. Yeah. Yes, it's difficult. It is difficult to get the labour to pick it when you want it picked. It corresponds with spring work and lambing and calving cows, and it has to be picked at least once a day when it's growing. And to pick this whole field, one person, it'd be 4, 5, 6 hours. So that we're finding difficult.
And we're also joined today by Chris Creed. Chris is an organic horticultural specialist for ADAS and he's been working with Rob for the last couple of years. Chris, could you tell us about what you're really looking for a field that's going into asparagus in terms of the soil type, aspect, nutrition, that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd probably look at the market and see what opportunities there are to sell the asparagus direct to the public, and then we look at the soil and whether we can do anything with it or not. But I'm basically looking for something sandy loam or sandy clay loam, well drained. Generally, it's better if it's been farmed for a few years and, arable type crop, so we're not bringing up grass and things, but we can work with grass. But, we want a pH of about 6.5 or above, and the main factor really is good drainage.
Chris, asparagus is an expensive crop to establishment. What are we looking at in terms of establishment costs and then potential output?
Well, we're looking at an establishment cost typically of about £6,000 a hectare, I suppose, and of that the crowns would be £5,000 of it. And we do use crowns that normally buy from Holland, and they come April time. They're soil grown, quite large things, sort of mop head size. And when we planted this, we had a bit of a team on. We planted it in tractor made furrows and laid the plants out by hand. Outputs, I suppose 5 tonne a hectare is a top yield for asparagus. On organic, I would expect 2 tonne, and 2 tonne of asparagus at farm shop prices, we should be on at least £12 a kilo, and that will give us a gross output of £24,000 per hectare from year 3 to year 8. There is money in the crop, there is money to invest back in the crowns. Once you get started on it, it probably pays you to plant every 4 or 5 years just to maintain it.
Rob, we've had some good harvests here. How have you gone about marketing it?
Well, we've tried very hard to advertise and market it through the farm shop as much as possible, because as Chris said, that's £12, £13 a kilo type of thing. And the trade price is, if you can get organic trade price, you probably get £7 a kilo. But if you've got to go to commercial trade price, you're, I don't know, £5 a kilo. So once you start selling to the trade, it's not a very good job, but it's not the same job at all. So it's got to be sold, picked at night, really, I find, and advertised right and sold through the shop fresh the next day. That is what works. People love it, they're happy to pay for it, and they come back for more.
What could you tell us about some of the biggest challenges of growing asparagus organically?
The challenges I've had has been keeping the weeds under control, which we do with like a potato ridger with discs on, not the old-fashioned ridger type. And the only other problem I've had is slugs, really. I got worried about slugs in the first year, And I went into town and found some organic slug pellets from a merchant, and I came out here in the dark to put them on and found that I'd got 2 hedgehogs wandering about. And I took the slug pellets back and I still got them. So I found that if you get the balance right and you've got the hedgehogs and you keep them weeds out so there's nowhere for the slugs to hide, I found that by getting them weeds down and letting nature, I've managed to control the slugs without any chemical at all, yeah. So.
And in terms of soil nutrients, Chris, we did take soil tests, didn't we, at the start of the project?
Yeah, well, I mean, with organic production, you're always concerned about soil nutrition, and you know, usually it's lack of potassium, and that's probably one of the hardest things to make up. So we did do quite comprehensive soil testing, and the results were quite pleasing, but the pH was a bit low, so we had to lime it. It's not a huge responder to fertiliser. It's not like brassicas, which would need typically, you know, 250, 300 kilos of nitrogen a year. This probably would respond well on 100 or less than that, you know. And because it was had a history of turf, there was a fair bit of residual nitrogen in the ground. We were a bit short on potash, but we rectified that by putting on some organic manure.
So Rob, in summary then, the asparagus has been here a few years. What are your long-term plans? Do you see it as a success? Do you see asparagus being a part of Square Farm shop for the future?
Oh, definitely, I see it as a success. I see it as carrying on with it. I feel that we have to look into planting another hectare somewhere for when this starts to slow down. And the plan would be to sell more through the shop. I think you have to be careful growing too much when you're selling it to the trade. I would recommend it to anyone to sell at their farm gate. If I can increase my customers and plant some more, I will.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with Rob there. I think as a consultant, I would not hesitate to recommend the crop to a farm shop that wants to improve its customers and get people in the shop early on. It has to be high value, so if you're doing a box scheme or anything, you've got to end at the top end of the market, not the bottom end. So you've got to be up in the 12 to 16 pound a kilo price range, which is way more than the market, but it's what organic, local, seasonal, fresh demand.